I just built this AI system that automatically creates and publishes these viral Stormtrooper vlogs. So this is one example. This is another example of a successful page. As you can see, 3 days ago, 130,000 views. This guy is also selling a product, right? And he's also being monetized likely through ad revenue. If you're worried about the recent changes to YouTube's ad revenue, we can see here in this new clarification from Team YouTube, an example of mass-produced AI content is a channel that uploads narrated stories with only superficial differences. So there were channels uploading just like AI voices. That's what's being demonetized. We welcome creators using AI tools to enhance their storytelling, and channels that use AI in their content remain eligible to monetize. So this is another example. As you can see, when you are accepted into the YouTube Partner Program for monetization, you have the option to add a subscription feature. So if you turn it on, it confirms to everyone that your channel is monetized. So this is another example. These are AI Bigfoot videos, and this channel is monetized. Just because it's not here does not mean that it's not monetized. It just means that he hasn't enabled it yet. And there is also a link. You can include a link to a product. So this product, for example, is how to create the videos. $25. I'm sure he's made some sales from all of these views that he's gotten. And if this guy made a product, I mean, this guy's getting, look, 400,000, 500,000, 200,000. So it is monetizable. And what this video is going to cover is how to create this system for yourself, any costs associated, and that's about it. So let's get straight into it. Now, if you've never seen this before, this is n8n. It's a no-code tool to combine a whole bunch of different services together, including AI services, create AI agents, and set up workflows that can work for you in the background that can be activated through different services. So this one is activated just with a schedule trigger. It may look a little bit intimidating. So I do have a beginner guide on my channel if you want to learn the basics of n8n. This video will cover how we can create this workflow from scratch completely. And why don't we have a look at one of the videos that it made right now, actually. So let's open this up.
Quiet sector today. Too quiet if you ask me.
You hear that? Recon drone. Definitely not ours.
Don't move.
We're made! Move! Move! It's calling for backup! There's a clearing ahead. We can get a clear shot there.
Hit the scanner.
Got it! Threat neutralized. Nice shooting.
Well, that wasn't in the mission briefing.
At least we know our aim's still good.
So how this works is this story agent comes up with a randomized story idea. You can also ask it to create a specific kind of story if you want. And it creates 8 different video prompts to be fed to a video generator. We're using VO3 here. So it creates 8 different videos for a full story, and then it combines those clips together and then automatically posts it to your YouTube channel. So the costs here, the chat model to generate the text for the script is only like a few cents. To create the video, each video is about 40 cents. So there's 8 clips, one of them is 40 cents. Altogether, it's about $3.20 per full YouTube video. Then you have combined clips. The cost to combine all the clips together is less than 1 cent, so it's basically nothing. And then you have Blotato over here. So this is used to automatically post the videos to YouTube. And the reason we use Blotato is because the API for Blotato is trusted, so that when it's automatically posted to YouTube, YouTube doesn't flag it as a bot uploaded video or a bot action, so that it actually gets views and is not shadow banned. Now, Blotato is $29 a month. So total across everything, there is n8n, the software. If you don't have that already, that's $29 a month. There's Blotato, which is $29 a month. And then each video is about $3, and everything else is only a few cents, like the chat model and to combine the clips. So the costs are relatively low, especially if you're getting the views that the Stormtrooper videos are on those successful channels. Obviously, nothing is guaranteed. It's different between each person who uploads. But the upside is definitely there. And if you get one video which gets good views and you have a product, you can easily make your money back. All right, so let's go over how we're going to build this from scratch. So once you're in n8n, the first thing we have to do is we need to activate the community nodes, because the Blotato nodes have their own community node now, so it's a lot easier to use the auto post nodes. So once you're on n8n, on the left over here on admin panel, we're just going to click there. We're going to come up to manage, and then we're going to turn on verified community nodes right here, and then just click save changes. Okay. Then it might restart. Just got to wait for it to restart, and then you can click on open instance, and that will give your n8n verified community nodes. You'll also get a bunch of other nodes as well, so that when you come up here to search for Blotato, which we're going to use, it actually shows up. And when you click on this, you'll have to click install, but that's near the end of the workflow, but it's just important to activate it right now. So I'm just going to go into my school here really quickly and get this just so that we can follow along. So download that. Import. Okay. So the first step, we're going to go through this in sections. So the first step is to create the AI agent that's actually going to write the story for each video. So up on the right up here, we're just going to search schedule trigger. There we go. So you can choose how often you want the videos to be posted, right? Once a day. You can switch this to hourly, 3 times a day, whatever you want. All right, so we have our schedule trigger right here. Now we're going to add the AI agent onto here. So just click plus AI agent. I'm going to name it story. And then we need to change this to define below so we can define the prompt. For the prompt, we'll just say write a story. Okay, we can just leave it as that. For the system message, come down here to add option, system message. We need to add a system message that will essentially teach the AI agent how to act, since we want it to make stories that are specific to Stormtroopers. This is like the personality of the AI agent. So I've written one, so you don't have to worry about that. If we go in here, here is the system message. So you can screenshot this. I'll scroll down. You can screenshot it and then put it into ChatGPT and say, give me this text, and it will give you the text from the image that you put into ChatGPT. So you can go ahead and screenshot this, and this will teach it to produce the exact outcome that we need. So I'm going to copy that. We're going to go into the story agent, and we're going to paste that in there. Now, because it's outputting 8 different prompts, we need it structured so that we can feed all 8 prompts to the video generator separately. So that's why we're going to turn on require specific output format. Okay. And now, as you can see at the bottom here, that's going to give us the option to add an output parser to control the output of the agent. I'm going to click here. We're going to go structured output parser, and we're going to turn on autofix format. Okay. Now, again, I'm going to come back up here, and you're going to need to do the same thing. Screenshot this and put it into ChatGPT and say, give me this text, give me this JSON. Either will work. This is just going to basically set the structure for the AI agent. All right. Now, inside our output parser, we're going to set this to define using JSON schema. We're going to open this up, and we're going to paste in this code right here. Okay. Now, what we need to do is we need to add a chat model. So the chat model is kind of like the brain of the AI agent. So I'm just going to click right here, add a chat model. I'm going to use Anthropic because I like Anthropic. I like the outputs it gives. So Anthropic account. We're using Claude 4 Sonnet. Now you can find a link to the Anthropic API in the description. That is how you can get your API key for this to put it in right here so that you can actually authenticate the node. Now, in short, I go over this more in depth in my beginner guide on how to authenticate this, but if you haven't done it before, you can go watch that. But really quickly, over here on the Anthropic console, once you've signed in, API keys on the left, API keys right here, and you can click Create Key. That will give you your key, and then you just need to make sure that you have credits in your billing so that it will actually have credit to be used for when you want to use it. Then you can just paste that API key in right here, and that will authenticate the model for you. So now that that's connected to the agent, we also need to connect that to the output parser so that it can make sure everything is all right in the output as well. So now we have our chat model set up. We also need to add a simple memory. So we're going to click here on memory, simple memory. Change this to define below. For the key, just type in anything you want. You can do 555, whatever. This is just kind of like an identifier. So between the different workflows in n8n, if you have another workflow with the key 555, it will be the same memory. The reason we do this is because this makes sure that the story doesn't write the same story again. It makes sure that it actually goes through and generates a random story. So now it has memory. That is almost everything. We just need to add a think tool. So we're going to click right here. We're going to search think and click think. You can leave everything for that. That is just going to allow the agent to actually process its output. So get an output, process it, and then it can do another output if it feels the need to do that to have a better output at the end. Okay, so now that we've hooked up our AI agent for the story and it's all set up, why don't we, I'm just going to save really quick in the top right. Let's activate this and see what kind of story we get. I'm actually going to write a random story. Then I'm going to click on execute step. All right, so it looks like our story has been written. So we can double click into here to see what story we got. Now, as you can see, we have the title for the YouTube video, the description, and then these are all of the different scenes that create the full story for the video. So this one looks like Stormtroopers follow mysterious signal through the woods. So that is pretty cool. Now, next up, we have that output now. Now what we need to do is, because it's only one item, we need to add a unbundle node so that we can create 8 items to flow through to generate the 8 different videos with our video generator. So what we're going to do is we're going to click here. We're going to search code. Click on code. And then for this right here, I'm just going to come back to my workflow. I'm going to grab this code right here. When I made this work, this was written by ChatGPT, by the way. So if you are creating your own workflows in n8n, you can make this just with ChatGPT by telling it kind of what you want to occur. Just a little side note. I'm going to copy this. Again, you can screenshot it, put it into ChatGPT, and it will give you this code. I promise we only have to do that like a few more times. I know that can be a little bit annoying. So I'm going to double click into here. Control V, delete everything else that was in there. And there we go. I'm just going to name this unbundle. Now, if you like your story, you can right click and click pin. This is going to make sure that it doesn't run through and use more credits or change the story that you had. So now we can run this right here. I'm going to run that. We open this up here. Now you can see we have 8 different items, all with each scene coming through. So that is the end of the write story section. All right, now next up, we need to add the HTTP requests to have the videos generated. So what these are is essentially we are contacting a server to receive. We're basically sending, can you please make us this video? They make the video. And then we say, okay, can we have that video now? And then they send us the video. And of course, it costs money, but that's essentially how it works. So I'm going to bring this down so it's simpler. We're going to go through it section by section. Create video. Now, we need to add an HTTP request. So we're going to click plus HTTP request. There we go. Now, we're going to name this create. Okay. And in the description, you can find this, the Key AI documentation. Now, this is all we have to do is we can click right here on generate VO3 AI video. Okay. And click there. And then up here, this is called a curl request. So we can copy this, copy, back into n8n, and we can click on import curl right here, and this will set up most of the node for us. So we can just click Control V, right? And then click on import. Now our node is almost fully set up. We only have to change one thing at the bottom. We have this JSON right here, and this is essentially telling them what kind of video we want to be made. Now, this has a bunch of information we don't really need. So I'm going to come to my workflow here. Again, you can screenshot this. It's very simple. It's just the prompt and the model. Okay. We're going to come back in. We're going to delete this whole section and just click Control V to paste that right there. Okay. Now you have to switch this to expression, because what that's going to do is it's going to take the text from the unbundle node here. As you can see, now the prompt is coming from the AI agent. Next, we need to authorize the node. So in the description, you can find a link to Key AI. This is how we can authenticate and essentially add credits so that it works. So once you've logged in, the first thing you're going to want to do is come to billing and just add some credits. So if you just want to test it out, you can add $5. And again, for the full video, all 8 scenes, the total it'll use is about 640 credits as of right now. So that comes out to about $3.20. So you can add that just to test it out. Once you have some credits on your account, you can just come over here to API key, click create API key. Once you've created it, click copy right here, and then come back into n8n. Right here where it says authorization bearer, delete this part, and then just paste your key in right there. Make sure there's still a space in between them. Now, because I'm recording this, I'm not going to use this method. This will work perfectly fine. If you've pasted your key in there, you're done. You are authorized. I'm going to disable that because I have, if I go to generic header auth, I have a saved version right here, which just kind of lets me choose it whenever I want to. Okay? This is essentially the same thing as authenticating the other way. So now that that is done, and we have credits on Key AI, we can actually execute this node. So we have all 8 items coming through, and we can execute this node to have the videos be created by Key AI. So let's do that right now. I'm going to click right here. All right, so it's sent those all off, task ID. And if we come over to Key AI, you come down here to logs. Oh, VO3 is at the start now. Perfect. Okay, so as you can see, here is all 8 of the videos. It says running, so it's not done yet. So we've just got to wait for that to be done. In the meantime, what we can do, come back into n8n, and we can add a wait node. So I'm just going to click plus. We're going to search wait. Click here. And I like to do 10 minutes just to make sure, because if the videos aren't done, sometimes it can be delayed. It will kind of just mess up the whole workflow. And if it's running in the background, who cares about how long it's waiting anyways? So we can set this to 600 seconds. And that will make sure that the videos are all done before it goes to the next node to request the videos. It only goes through once. So if it requests the videos and they're not done, then the workflow just doesn't work. It breaks, because the future nodes in the workflow are looking for information that's not there because the videos weren't done. Now, for now, I'm going to manually change this to just 1 second so that we can wait for this to be done. execute this and work on the rest of the workflow without waiting for it. But make sure at the end of the workflow, you change this back to 600 seconds before you activate it for it to run in the background automatically. So I'm just going to wait for those videos to be done right now. Also, make sure you right click this and click on pin. This will make sure that if there's any errors in the workflow, when you run it through again, it's not costing you $3 every single time. You can just right click, click pin, and that will keep the same videos so that you can handle the errors later in the workflow without it costing you a bunch of money. All right, so I've just refreshed, pardon me, in the key AI logs, and it looks like they are all done. So that is good. What we're going to do now is I'm just going to execute this. Remember, we set it to 1 second, so we don't even have to wait for it. We're going to execute that step. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add the next HTTP request to bring the information from the videos back into n8n. We're going to hit plus HTTP request. I'm going to name this get. And we're going to do the same thing with the key AI documentation, which you can find in the description from before. We're going to go over here to get VO3 video details. And then, yeah, we can just get this curl request right here. So I'm going to click copy. We're going to come back into n8n, import curl, Control V, import. Now it's going to set up most of this for us. Again, the authorization, the same API key from before. I'll show you where that is again. API key, copy from right here, paste it right here, make sure there's a space in between bearer and your key. Okay, so don't worry about what I'm doing right now. I'm just setting up my own authentication. Now, make sure you turn on send query parameters, okay? This is going to tell it what video to receive. So we're going to turn that on. The name, we're going to type task ID, but the I has to be capital or else it won't work. I know it's weird, but the I has to be capital. Task ID. Now for the value, we're just going to grab that from the wait node right here, drag that right into there, and that's going to tell it to retrieve all 8 videos as they come through. So that is the get node. So why don't we execute that step? So now it's retrieved all of our videos. As you can see here, there's 1, 2, 3, and so on. And you can actually come here to the result URL. We can copy this and paste this into our browser. We download the video and we can watch it.
The signal's definitely coming from up ahead. Greg, stop being such a worrier.
There we
The
go.
signal's
All right, so sometimes see this little glitch at the top. AI videos aren't perfect. It's not going to be perfect every time. But why don't we check out another one of these? Why don't we watch the intro? Watch this.
Hey everyone, TK421 here with Greg on another patrol vlog. Wait, Greg, are you getting this static too?
See, that's pretty freaking awesome. So there you go, right? So these are all the clips. So now that we have all the clips generated, what we have to do is move on to the next section where we will mesh them all together. Then after that, we will move on to automatically posting it to YouTube. Now, make sure to pay very close attention to this next section because there's a lot of little details that really matter here. So we're going to add another node. It's going to be a code node. I'm going to click code and just name it exactly this. Group clips. Group space clips, just like that. Okay, now take a screenshot of this right here, put it into ChatGPT, and get this JavaScript right here. Now, we're going to paste that into our group clips node. And whatever you named your agent from before, I just named it story. You have to put that right here. So I'm going to delete that. Now it's just story. So that will reference the AI agent output, essentially, which is important. So I'm going to run that node. Just make sure that actually works. There we go. And now, as you can see, we have the video URLs, the title, and the description of the video, which is important for later on in the workflow. Next, we need to add the combine video node, which is going to use Fal AI to combine them all together. So let's add a HTTP request. So let's click right here. We're going to go HTTP request. And we're going to call this one combine. Okay, so I will leave a link in the description to this part of Fal AI right here. You'll just need to make an account, and this is FFmpeg API. So this is where this is the API that we're going to use to actually combine all the videos together. So this link will be in the description. If you can't find it, you can go to Home, Explore, and then you can go to FFmpeg API/compose. So first thing we're going to do is actually up here on the top right, once you've made your account, I'm just going to middle mouse click on that. And what we're going to do is now we can go up here to usage and billing. Go to credits. And you're just going to want to add a payment method and add a little bit of credit on here. As you can see, I've only used 1 cent and I've made a bunch of videos. It doesn't really cost anything at all. Then come over here to API keys. Click add key and just create a new API key. You can only copy it once. So just leave this open because we'll come back to this after. Now we're going to go back to the original FFmpeg API/compose here. And we're going to click right here on API. Now, what you have to do is set this to HTTP curl. Once you've done that, you can scroll down here to submit a request. And I know this is tedious, but you have to select just this part right here. So starting at curl, ending right after this quote right here. So we're going to right click that and copy that and bring that into n8n. We're going to come into this HTTP request, import curl, and we're going to go Control V and click import. Now, from here, what we have to do is get that authorization key from earlier on Fal AI in the API keys section, Fal AI/dashboard/keys. Remember, you had to copy it. If you don't have it for whatever reason, you can just click add key and then copy that key that you got from there. Then you're going to want to paste that right here. Just delete this, make sure it's key, space, and then paste your key. And that will be all good to go and authenticated. I don't need to do that because I already have one saved on here. Both work the same. Next, down here at the JSON, this is telling it what we want to combine. So I'm going to go back into this node here. I'm going to open this up and we're going to go Control C and copy this. Again, you will need to put this into ChatGPT and get the code that way, okay? I'm going to copy this and we're going to go back into the node here, open this up, and we're going to paste that in. Also going to set this to expression to make sure that the links actually come through. As you can see now, they are green. So what we can do now is we can actually execute that node. I'm going to execute that node. And looks like that went through. So we're going to come back to FFmpeg on Fal AI. You can go up here and click on requests. Now, as you can see, it's in progress. Most of them take less than 1 minute. So while that's working, you can go to n8n, click out of it. We're going to add a wait node, wait. And we're going to wait for 60 seconds, right? Just put 60. I'm just going to put 1 second just so that we don't actually have to wait. And again, I'm actually going to right click and pin this node so that it doesn't run through over and over and over again if there's any errors in our workflow, right? Now I'm going to execute this wait node. And now we can just wait for this video to be combined. Okay, so I had to actually refresh for this to show up as done. But as you can see, everything is green and good to go. One little note I'll point out really quick is if there's an error, you can click right here. I might actually have an error. Yeah, you can click here and go to input. And typically this will happen, as you can see, when there's no URLs coming through. So if you're getting that error, it's because the videos just aren't being finished. And the workflow will flow through even if the videos aren't being finished. It won't actually give you an error in here. So typically this is just because you don't have credits on Key AI or you haven't authenticated with Key AI properly. So just go back in the video and double check that you did everything right there. Now that that's done, what we're going to do is we're going to go back into n8n and we are going to add another HTTP request, HTTP, and we're going to call this get v. Now we're going to go back to, let's see, file AI right here. We're going to go to the API. Again, make sure this is on HTTP curl. We're going to scroll down to where you can see get the result. This, we can just copy the whole thing. So we'll just click, right, let's make sure you can see that. Yeah, we can just click right here. And then we'll go back into n8n, import curl, Control V, import. Now there is one thing we have to change right here in the URL. As you can see, there's this request ID. So first we're going to change this to expression and we're going to delete this request ID right here. So it's just requests / and then it's blank. And we're going to drag in the request ID from the wait node right here to the end. There we go. And now we have to authenticate this node as well. So again, from file AI, if you remember from earlier, your key, you're going to want to paste that right here after key space. So key space and then paste your key right there. And that will authenticate you. Okay. Now that that's done and everything is finished, we can execute this step. That will get our video link. So it looks like our entire video is done. Why don't we grab that, paste it in, and let's download that and watch it.
Hey everyone, TK421 here with Greg on another patrol vlog. Wait, Greg, are you getting this static too?
Mm-hmm. Greg thinks we should report this back to base first, but I say we check it out ourselves. The signal's getting stronger.
Muffled protests.
The signal's definitely coming from up ahead. Greg, stop being such a worrier.
Would you look at that? Rebel speeder? Probably been here for days. Greg, check if there's anything useful in there.
Roger that.
Greg found something. Looks like encrypted rebel intel. This could be big. Did you hear that? Greg, we're not alone out here.
Run, Greg, run! We got what we came for.
Well, that was intense. We made it out with some serious rebel intel. Greg's already uploaded it to command.
So that was pretty awesome, especially for completely AI automated, hands off, no human intervention needed. And that's only one story. And again, you can generate a bunch of different stories. And feel free to go through the system message in here and change how the outputs turn out if you want a different kind of video. So let's move on to automatically uploading that to a YouTube channel. Now, what we have to do, there's only 2 more nodes left, which is pretty awesome. So we just got to click plus and search Blotato. Now, Blotato's not popping up for you here. You may have skipped the part at the beginning of the video where I walked through how to actually add a community node. So just go back in the video to that part where I go through. You just basically just go into the admin panel, enable verified community nodes, save it, and then reopen it. And then Blotato will show up in here. So we can click on Blotato. It will ask you to install it if you haven't already. And then we can just click on Upload Media right here. Okay, now you can find a link to Blotato in the description. Again, you will need the subscription in order for the API to work. Because if it was free and anyone could just flood the API, it wouldn't be trusted by YouTube and that would ruin it for everybody. It wouldn't be a good service anymore because the videos wouldn't actually get views. So that is why the subscription is there, to increase the quality of the traffic to the API so that we all actually get views when we use it. So once you've logged into Blotato, bottom left down here, settings, you're going to want to log in with YouTube. So make sure you're logged into your YouTube account and you have your channel ready on Google in your browser. Then you can come to Blotato, click login with YouTube, follow the steps to log in, make sure it's the same account. It'll tell you what account is actually being connected. Then from there, all you have to do is, just make sure that's connected. Then up here at API, we can click here, click generate key if you don't have one already. You can copy your key and then come back into n8n, click here, create new credential, paste your key in right there, hit save, and you are all done. Now what we're going to do is we are going to go see how it says media URL right here. We're going to grab the video URL from the node before this, drag that right into there, and that is all done. So now we're going to execute this step. All right. Now for the final node, it is the create the post. So we're going to click here, search Blotato again, click Blotato, create post. Make sure you're on your Blotato account you connected. Post, create, platform, choose YouTube, account. As you can see, it's going to load. Just click on whatever account you connected. Now, text, this is the description of the video. So for the text, we actually have to come here to group clips after the items were converted. So we're going to go to this node right here. As you can see, it has to be one item. And we can grab the description for the text. There we go. Video title right here. Media URLs. Now for the media URL, make sure it comes from the Blotato section right here where it says upload media, database Blotato after it's been uploaded. URL, we'll drag that right in there for the media URL. Another thing I would recommend turning on is this made for kids. Just have that turned off because YouTube wants that clarified for all their videos anyways. So now that will automatically choose that for you. And if we look at this, yep, public, everything looks good right here. So we can click execute and this will publish it to our channel. So let's go on our YouTube here, give it a refresh. As you can see, it is now processing. So let's just wait for that to be finished. All right, actually finished relatively quickly. You can click here. Here is our video. And yep, it is public. And we can watch it.
Hey everyone, TK421 here with
Title, description, everything. Pretty freaking awesome. Now, back in n8n, there's a few things we need to do. If you remember, make sure in the wait nodes, this one, 60 seconds. One right here for the FAL AI, 60 seconds. This wait one between the video generator, I like to do 600 just to be safe. 10 minutes, good. Now, you can come into your schedule trigger and you can change this for however often you want. I'll just do once a day. And the top right up here, switch this to active and then got it. Right? There you go. Your workflow is active and you are good to go. As you can see, it actually picks a pretty awesome thumbnail as well, which is pretty cool automatically. And one thing to note is make sure you keep up with your credits on Key AI because this is what you will run out of the fastest. So if your videos aren't uploading, it's probably just down to the Key AI not having enough credits. And that is how you set up the Stormtrooper workflow. That is the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. I wish you the best of luck with your channel. I have a bunch of other videos on my channel for the Bigfoot vlogs and all sorts of other things to automatically create content that is already proven to work in the background so you can have a bunch of systems running for you. In the description, I have a link to my Telegram channel so you can stay up to date with the latest AI news. And I also let you guys know early before these videos come out so that you can stay up to date and be fast and before everybody. Please subscribe. It really helps out the channel, and I will see you later. Bye.